Hello, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get started with learning financial literacy and money mindset. And the first part of my videos will be specifically dedicated to money mindset because, as you know, everything that's in our heads eventually reflects in our reality indeed. You can believe it or not, but it happens to us more often than we might think, and it can be quite surprising. So today we will figure out what financial blocks exist, why they exist, how to take an adult position, take responsibility for your life, and how to relate to money, how to build a relationship with it, and ultimately how to achieve financial freedom and stability and secure your future. A relationship with money is like any other relationship. It needs to be built to, as they say, live a better quality life, a more awesome life, to enjoy and be happy regardless of your current financial situation, and take all possible steps to improve it. So let's get started. This is a lesson about money psychology. As you know, if you have already dealt with psychologists or studied this subject at all, you know that everything originates from childhood. The relationship with money is indeed also a projection of what happened to us in childhood. A very important fact that I want to share, which has significantly changed my worldview, is that we all understand the family and its role are extremely important, especially in shaping the subconscious level. We might think that we truly love our mom, that we are indeed proud and everything is fine, but in reality, subconsciously, we are holding on to some resentments over something someone said or did or didn't do. And all of this needs to be slightly brought out in order to fully and completely accept and embrace your family, your lineage. Moreover, the following steps helped me with this process. What now? You need to understand one fact. Parents gave the best they could at the stage they were in because they also had their own parents who raised them in a certain way and their unique circumstances which influenced their parenting style. Certain knowledge, certain skills, abilities, and everything they had to the fullest they passed on to you. It's understandable that it seems to you that something is missing. But when I realized that at that moment in the environment they were in, they could give me their best, I calmed down and I accepted everything very, very happily. Why should you accept your parents? Because the relationship with your mother is, you could say, indeed a relationship with your own self. It is self-love that she forms. She is responsible for it. And when we accept our mother, we begin to fully love ourselves, find joy, and so on. The relationship with our father is about money, realization, and success. That is, the father instills in us such basic concepts as confidence, trust in the world, and so on. Therefore, it is necessary to have a good relationship, not just conditionally, but truly and deeply love and accept your parents. When this connection happens, I will give an exercise on how to do it in detail. Then you start to gradually open up to the world, and accordingly, financial resources begin to flow into your life step by step. It seems like some kind of magical phenomenon, right? And the information is indeed received with some initial skepticism, but it's actually true. It's been tested on an extremely, very large amount of data collection. I speak in a somewhat disorganized manner because I truly, absolutely love this topic. But overall, you really need to know, first and foremost, that all the various blocks you have in your financial relationships, even those on a deep subconscious level, mostly come from your family. To remove these blocks, you need to accept your parents, accept your mother and your father and your lineage. It doesn't matter if you know them, don't know them, can contact them now or can't. Just morally for yourself, you need to accept and love them. The third point, to accept and love your parents, you need to understand that they indeed did the best they could and truly instilled in you what they could. And it's also very important to say that we often hold grudges against our parents, and not just our parents, but even our friends' parents, although in reality, these are just glitches of our consciousness. For example, I was always upset with my mom because she didn't praise me for my successes and achievements, which were very important to me and made me feel proud and accomplished. I was kind of independent in that regard, even though I needed support and encouragement from those around me, especially during challenging times. As for mom, she just doesn't like to talk, which doesn't mean she's not proud or that she doesn't feel, or something. It's just, well, that's the kind of person she is, right? Well, for her, it's obvious that I'm doing well, but she didn't know that she needed to say it out loud. And I've lived my whole life with this complex that, well, somewhere along the way I wasn't loved enough, wasn't praised enough, and so on. But in reality, the question was simply about actually needing to talk it through. And when we just talked it through, everything fell into place. That's it. Once I accepted the unfulfilled love, indeed, my situation with money and my overall relationship with the world changed significantly, drastically. Or, for example, Dad yelled on Tuesday because he was angry. Perhaps maybe he had an argument with some friends or colleagues, or even he responded rudely. For him, it was an ordinary Tuesday, but for me, it felt like the end of the world. Nobody loves me, everyone is mad at me, everything is tricks of our mind. As adults, we are also doing an exercise. Think about the situations in your life you've had or experiences that might have made you feel hurt. Even in small things like, I don't know, bringing an omelet instead of fried eggs. And then when you break down the situation, you'll realize that, damn, I made up even 90% of it myself. This is a very good exercise because in the future, when something happens in the future, in the present, now, we very often interpret the actions and behaviors of other people the way we want to. This is a glitch in consciousness. He didn't call back because he doesn't love me, but he didn't call back because he was tired and fell asleep. So it's really great to break this down in order to approach the world with trust and openness. And again, why do we need trust and joy? So that we don't block anything for ourselves and the money flows come to us. Moving on again to psychology. So there is Burns, who identified that a person can be in 3 states: adult, parent, or child. Naturally, a child is someone who always says, I don't know, what should I do? What's the right way? Can you tell me how to do it better? How should I act in this situation? A child, considering their young and tender years and their very limited experience, knows absolutely nothing whatsoever about life, and accordingly always seeks some form of help and support from the outside. What's most interesting is that, indeed, we grow older in terms of age, but we actually continue to stay in what is called a child position, as we all know. That is, when we are in our 20s, 30s, or 40s, we try to shift some degree of responsibility for everything happening around us, and typically, generally speaking, we want to find a woman. Usually a loving husband is sought, a caring father, a responsible parent. Men also sometimes take on a childlike position in relationships, or in fact, indeed, in general, just in society. And when we find ourselves in a situation where I don't know what's better, what's right, or what to do, and when such questions frequently arise in our minds, it is naturally a sign that you are indeed in a child position often. Just get it straight. Sometimes we just feel sad, don't want to do anything, and wish that our partner would bring us cookies, etc., and maybe give us some advice on how to handle it. It's kind of normal, but when we go to build a career, start a business, or engage in various different adult activities, and we begin to ask, what's the right way? What should we do from some experts, which I also consider myself to some extent, we revert to a childlike position. Children. Who are they? They are accordingly young children in terms of age. And what do children lack? 2 things. Kids don't have money and they don't have sex. We're obviously talking about money, although the other topic is interesting too. So why a child? What does he need? He needs a candy wrapper, I don't know, a piece of candy, and he's already happy. And the universe, let's call it that, you can come up with your own names. I just really like this one. Accordingly, it indeed gives people the appropriate rewards. Conclusion. To become an adult, to have money, fulfillment, and success, you need to move out of the child position where you don't know what to do and shift responsibility onto adults. How to transition? Yes, it seems, well, yes, easy, of course, I just won't talk, I don't know. But it's all not simple. Well, how to say relatively not simple. The very first step in any kind of psychology, no matter what happens, the very first step is to understand, accept, and sort of realize. So the first point is, for example, you go about your day and handle your various tasks, and you should simply, for instance, focus today on noticing where you find the child position and make a note of it, perhaps in different situations. I don't know, there are people who make it in life, but they have no idea how to buy groceries or clean the house. Well, it's clear that for them, this childlike position is within a certain scope of responsibilities. This all needs to be noted and accordingly recorded and documented. And as soon as we understand that, yes, there are moments, we know what those moments are, meaning I am all for any analysis in this life. That is, we take data, look at it, evaluate, analyze, apply our mental efforts to analyze this data, draw conclusions, and restructure our approach to move forward. We acknowledge this, write it down, and make a note of it. And then, when you start noticing it in yourself, ask yourself the important, reflective, and significant question: what position am I in? I am in a child's position, but what would an adult do right now? I don't know, buy groceries and so on. Okay, I'll go online and take a look. I'll make myself a little list to follow or something like that. Or in my career, I don't know what to do. So what can I do if I don't know right now? I can look on the internet, call friends, ask around, read some literature, or go somewhere to learn something from someone. Or, for example, I need to know this information. I will find a specific and relevant book, meaning I will take steps to obtain this information and necessary information, finalizing. We often find in a childlike position unaware when we are unsure or when we are looking for someone to help us. The downside of a child's position is that children don't have money, they settle for little, and essentially the universe provides them with very little. To have a good financial flow, to achieve realization, success, and so on, one needs to become an adult. And in order to become an adult, we need to, evaluate ourselves where we are in the position of a child and adjust to what an adult would do